tell me once again, who's fat?
Now welcome to our Raw portion of This Week in Wrestling. So, as we go into Raw after the pay-per-view, there was a lot of things we were wanting to answer. Some of those things being the fact that
some of the things we as fans were looking forward to was after the pay-per-view, it led to a lot of questions that we had. And 6 of them were, one, who will be running Raw and SmackDown now that John Laurinaitis is gone? What happened to AJ after Kane carried her off at the end of the pay-per-view? What will Big Show do now? And will he start a feud with Brodus Clay? Brock Lesnar's response to Triple H's challenge. And what is Cena going to do now that he's kind of done with this feud with John Laurinaitis? Now he's going to start a new feud. What is he going to do now? And is Ryback going to fight 2 more jobbers again tonight, even though he got practically booed almost at the pay-per-view? Nobody really cared.
Yeah, the whole Ryback thing, it's getting old, and it's not only us that makes this old. It's like a lot of fans just, getting tired of it. But I have to admit, later when they do a match again like that on SmackDown, he gets a better response on SmackDown. But even like pay-per-view fans were like, this it's not something that belongs on a pay-per-view. So, but I don't think Ryback wrestled on Raw, did he?
No, he didn't.
Thank God.
He did on SmackDown, but no.
He wrestled on SmackDown, but that's where he belongs. Anyways, go for it, Stacey. What was our first match that we're going to talk about tonight?
Basically, to answer the first question, who was going to run Raw and SmackDown, they're going to, for a while, do special guest referees.
Special guest
GMs, not referees. So this week, for both Raw and SmackDown, was Mick Foley, which is a little disappointing because they really don't do much with him. They do like a skit or 2 with him, and he comes to the ring once or twice, and that's it. Both on Raw and SmackDown, he just does very little.
On SmackDown,
I mean, it's good seeing Mick Foley again. We enjoy, as fans, we enjoy Mick Foley and his character and the funniness that he does, but they just didn't really use him because they had too many other storylines.
Yeah, so Mick Foley was poorly used, but
In fact, Mick Foley started the show off in the ring, and he announces that he's a temporary host, and then Laurinaitis comes out, gives his farewell speech, and discusses a handicap match that he's going to be in with Big Show and Otunga, and him taking on John Cena. But
it was like the last match he booked before he was fired, so they have to let him do it. So pretty much the theme of Raw, I guess, was, John Laurinaitis' goodbye. The final match with John Cena and... Well, first of all, in the final match, what happens is Big Show decides he's not going to wrestle because he says he's done with John Cena. He proved he could beat John Cena in the cage and that he doesn't have anything else to prove no more. So he decides, you know what, I'm not going to wrestle the match. So then it becomes David Otunga versus David Otunga and John Laurinaitis versus John Cena. David Otunga goes in there for a while fighting, but John Cena's beating him up, so he tries to tag out. Laurinaitis won't tag, but somehow David Otunga gets the upper hand, and that's when John Laurinaitis wants to tag. Well, at this point, John Laurinaitis was still injured up, or he had the cast.
He was pretending to be injured.
Yeah, he had all the cast and everything, and then what happened was he goes into the ring and he takes up all the cast and he's like, haha, I'm perfect health, and then he starts beating up John Cena, but John Cena gets back up, so he tries to tag Otunga. Well, Otunga the whole time when he was getting beat up was trying to tag Laurinaitis, and Laurinaitis wouldn't even tag him. And then Otunga, I guess, realized the same time everyone else did that John Laurinaitis was faking it. So Otunga just jumps off the ring apron and tells Laurinaitis to screw it. And then John Cena just pretty much gets his hands on Laurinaitis, AA'd him 3 times, and then puts him in the
STF.
STF, and then that's pretty much the end of John Laurinaitis.
Yeah, that's pretty much his. That was like the main theme for the show, was that match.
Mm-hmm.
As a side theme, they were doing the AJ thing, which was pretty neat. They had a tag match right after the start of the show. Sheamus and CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan and Kane. Well, during that match, towards the end of it, AJ comes out and she's dressed like Kane, and she goes skipping all the way around the ring, just skip all the way around, and confuses Kane, and it allows Sheamus to well, actually Bryant's in the middle of the ring. Kane kind of leaves to, I guess he's chasing after AJ, and it allows Sheamus and CM Punk to be alone with Daniel Bryan in the ring. Then, which was a cool ending for this match, because CM Punk did the go to sleep, and then before Daniel Bryan fell, Sheamus got the brogue kick in and got the pin. So it was an interesting match. That was the second storyline they were going off with tonight.
One of the more, I guess, kind of interesting segments they had on Monday Night Raw was they brought back Cyndi Lauper and Whitney Richter, who, if you don't know, was at the very first WrestleMania. And basically they came to the ring and they kind of had their moment and everything. And then suddenly out of nowhere, Heath Slater comes in there, and Heath Slater starts arguing with her. And I think one of the funniest lines in there is he tells Cyndi Lauper, he's like, "I'm a one-man rock band. How many people you got in your band?" And Cyndi Lauper responds with, "I can afford a band." And so it was kind of funny banter between them back and forth. And then when Heath Slater starts singing, Roddy Piper comes out. And Roddy Piper, if you guys don't know, had a big feud with Cyndi Lauper back before WrestleMania 1. It was what led up to WrestleMania 1. And Captain Lou Albano and everything like that was involved. And I think Piper hit her or something. Yeah, I think Piper kicked her or something. And sorry, WrestleMania 1's a little bit before my time. I've seen it on DVD, but it's still, the events were a little bit before my time, before I started watching wrestling. But basically Piper came in there and apologized for everything that happened at WrestleMania 1. It was kind of like a full circle moment, where it's like, you know, these two, like, long ago had this falling out, but here they are now, friends and everything. And then Heath Slater, basically what Piper does is he has this gold record, and he originally smashed the original gold record over Captain Lou Albano, and so he gives the gold record back to Cyndi Lauper, you know, apologizes and everything, and Cyndi Lauper takes the gold record and crashes over Heath Slater's head. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool just seeing them all again and finally full circling that whole event that happened back in, I think it was like 84, 85. I don't know the exact date, but it was a long time ago.
Some of the interesting smaller segments that happened on Raw was Paul Heyman came out to give basically Brock's answer, which happened to be no. And but Triple H comes out and they talk back and forth, and Triple H hits him again, Paul Heyman again, and calls Brock a coward.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that was pretty interesting, because basically he just wants Brock to kind of give up the whole lawyer thing. Well, we kind of went over that at the pay-per-view too. It's just, it was an alright segment. One of the other things that happened, there was a couple small matches, like Alberto Del Rio. Actually, it was Santino Morel fought Alberto Del Rio, and of course the ring announcer was out there, the one that's been feuding with Santino. And so the ring announcer kind of gets revenge because his guy, the main guy, the one that's really tough, defeats Santino pretty quickly. And then, what other matches were there?
Ziggler versus Swagger.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or Vicky as a manager.
Go ahead.
There was a match with Ziggler versus Swagger, and the services of Vicky was on the line. They've been kind of Swagger and Ziggler have been kind of at each other and wanting to kind of break their team apart anyway, and so they had this match, and now Ziggler has Vicky exclusively has his manager now again. And the only other real there's two of them, interesting things was Primo and Epico with Rosa and the Primetime Players with AW have another match, but basically the Primetime Players just walk away basically, and Primo and Epico win by countout.
They decided just because they're already number one contenders, they don't have to prove themselves against the former tag team champions. That storyline's playing out like we told you. Like we told you on the No Way Out video, that it's playing out. So it's kind of cool that once again the tag teams kind of have a storyline, maybe to get interested in the tag team division again. But it's neat. But at the same time, we don't care that much about tag team wrestling, so it's not really one of the more exciting segments that we look forward to.
And the last point of interest that I want to bring up, especially since I'm a big fan of his, is during the commercial break, they announced that Jericho is coming back. That he's been away for a while. He's been doing a new album with Fozzy, which I hope I can get a copy of one day, because I have one of his Fozzy things, which is really good. But he's supposed to be coming back again, and I hope he comes back and has another good run.
Well, before he disappeared, I guess what happened was Jericho. He was suspended because of something that happened in another country. I forget all the details. But before he disappeared, he was fighting with Randy Orton. Well, Randy Orton's been gone too, so I hope with Chris Jericho returning, that means Randy Orton's returning, they can pick up on the feud they were supposed to have, because Chris Jericho was supposed to be trying to get revenge on Randy Orton for kicking him out of WWE in the first place when he did the punk kick to him before he left the original.
Didn't Jericho leave because of the weapons of mass destruction hitting?
No, dude, he left because he got punk kicked after a pay-per-view, dude.
Oh, okay.
And that was how long? That was 2 years. That was a year or 2 years ago.
Well, I meant here recently when he left.
Oh no, he left because he got suspended.
I thought he got weapons of mass destruction.
No, he got suspended.
Oh, well, maybe you're right.
He got suspended overseas. Oh well. Okay.
Well, anyway, the overall show rating we give.
I think we're going to give it 3.5 little AJs with a cane mask on, skipping around the ring. So it was an alright Raw, but nothing to get too excited about. I mean, had they done more with Mick Foley, it would have been a lot better. What I was hoping for in that last match with John Cena is that Mick Foley, he used to have this thing in TNA where he'd come out and he'd let me tweak the match a little bit, and he'd call it a tweak. I was hoping he'd come out during that last match and like Big Show decides he is going to fight John Cena and it's going to be 3-on-1, and then Mick Foley comes out and says, let me tweak this, and then he tweaks it and gives Cena a partner, or he says, I'm going to team up with Cena or something like that, something cool like that. But no such luck.
And neither on SmackDown either, so.
No, he didn't do anything. He really didn't do anything. And so it was really disappointing with Mick Foley. What were we gonna say?
I'll wait till SmackDown.
Okay, well, stay tuned. Next up is our TNA segment, and then SmackDown. Thank you so much.